Hi everyone, my name is Antonio Muñiz. Welcome to a special episode of LatProXperience, where we talk about entrepreneurial success through the Latino lens. And the reason that today's episode is special is because it's got a little bit of a slant, a different slant to this conversation. And it's going to be focused on the first part of the report released by the Latino Donor Collaborative. The Latino Donor Collaborative is a nonprofit organization. And a couple of weeks ago, they released their annual official U.S. Latino GDP report, the first part. The second part's going to be released in a week or two. So I wanted to highlight the importance of knowing this information and knowing how it applies to our businesses and knowing how we can use that information to take better actions to grow our businesses in the right direction. So I'll make this very, very quick and dirty. Short and sweet, I should say. So what is this report about? Well, the first part basically said, hey, listen, the Latino economy, which is the Latino cohort inside of the United States, the portion of the U.S. economy that is driven by Latinos in the U.S. reached, for the first time in the history of our country, $4 trillion. The Latino GDP reached $4 trillion. And this matters to everyone. It matters to you, matters to your business, it matters to your workforce, and honestly, it matters to America's future. So that is the headline. And what does that really mean? It means that when you look at $4 trillion, right? $4 trillion in GDP, we're talking real growth of the U.S. economy. And I will tell you, the Latino GDP is the second fastest growing among the world's 10 largest economies. Let me say that again. The U.S. Latino GDP is the second fastest growing among the world's 10 largest economies. It's trailing, is behind only China. And it is up to par with India, much larger country, right? And outpacing countries like France, Canada, and the rest of the United States. The U.S. Latino GDP, and I'm going to quote something, a few bullet points from the report. The U.S. Latino GDP is projected to rank as the world's fourth largest economy by 2029, surpassing Japan and Germany by the end of the decade. So just the Latino cohort inside of the United States, the economy, the economic power and the GDP of the Latino cohort inside the United States is going to be bigger than Japan's economy, and it's going to be bigger than Germany's economy by the end of the decade. That's huge. That's huge. Because as of today, the Latinos in the U.S. comprise approximately 19.5% of the U.S. population. And yet, that cohort is responsible for 28.3% of total additions to the national GDP between 2017 and 2020. That's a lot of numbers, but the bottom line here is that the Latino cohort is driving the growth of the U.S. economy. The 10 largest, this is important too, the 10 largest state Latino economies include California, Texas, Florida, and New York, are all growing faster than their non-Latino counterparts. So the states that have the largest concentration of Latinos, Latinas, Latino entrepreneurs, Latino business owners, those economies are going a lot faster than the rest of the economies of the other states. So this is a big deal. The last highlight that I want to mention from the report is a really interesting report, but you may not want to read the whole thing because it's an economic report. The U.S. Latino purchasing power is measured at $4.1 trillion. That is a lot of money. And if you're wondering, What does that really mean? I had a hard time getting my arms around what $1 trillion is, much less $4 trillion. So just to give you perspective, we know what $1 million, we can get our arms around what $4 million look like. This, if you take $1,000 and you multiply it by 4,000 times, that is $4 million. Now, if you take $1 million and multiply that by 4,000 times, right? $1 million times 4,000, that's $4 billion. We haven't even gotten to $1 trillion yet. So $1 trillion, which is a 4 with 12 zeros, okay, to the right. It's when you take $1 billion and multiply that by 4,000, that's what $4 trillion is a big number. So that's what we are. I mean, another way of looking at it is taking $1 million, multiply that by 1,000, and then multiplying that by 4,000. And again, you get $4 trillion. And this is important because think about when you look at this in terms of population, U.S. population, the population growth for Latinos in the U.S. will continue to accelerate. And it's projected that it will reach 111 million Latinos in the U.S. by 2060. That's a big percentage of the overall population. And that's important because if this is a segment that is growing the fastest population-wise, it is also the segment that is driving the economy faster, getting it bigger faster than any other segment of the population. This is important to know. This is important for everyone to know because that's become the economic engine of this of the U.S. Now, if you're wondering where this information came from, again, this is the Latino Donor Collaborative. They've been around for 15 years. This is not a new organization, and their motto or their charter is 15 years of empowering the United States with fact-based research. So it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I'm going to read the description. Dedicated to reshaping the perception of Latinos as part of the American social mainstream. It's a self-funded and independent, and is founded by an accomplished group of Latino national leaders who generously donate their time to promote friendly, high-level dialogue with the goal of finding the best ways to grow revenue and market share by targeting and serving Latino audiences. So that's what the first part of the Latino Donor Collaborative annual report on Latino GDP highlighted just a couple of weeks ago. And this is the bottom line. Like the great Wayne Gretzky is famously quoted as saying, "Skate to where the puck is going, not where it has been." Skate to where the puck is going, not where it has been. And what that means in the context of economics, in the context of GDP, the context of growing the economy and where the economy is headed and where the pockets of opportunities are, is that if we want to skate where the puck is going to be, let me tell you where the puck is going to be. Successful businesses, we have to always be skating where the puck is going to be. And if we look at history, and not ancient history, but just relatively recent history, after World War II, the puck was going to be in Asia. You remember all the focus that was placed on Asian tigers, those Asian tiger economies, and that's where the opportunities were going to be. We should be investing in that side of the world for a variety of reasons. That was where the puck was going to be after WW2, after World War II. Then after that, it was baby boomers. The baby boomers, wealthy, they build their wealth. They're driving the economy. That's what we should be paying attention to. Now it's the Latino cohort in the U.S. So if you like winning, you better know about your clients and your market. You better know more about your clients and your market than anyone else. And data gives you the tools to win. Data that is easy to understand and actionable gives us the ability and the tools to win. So I encourage all of us to leverage this data published by the Latino Donor Collaborative to find ways to serve the Latino community, the Latino cohort in the US. But beyond that, find ways to partner with the Latino cohorts in the US. And I will tell you that most of the time when you hear stats like this or data about the Latinos in the US, the economic power, the buying power of Latinos in the US, the only side of that conversation is how can we sell more to them? How can we make them consumers? And that's very short-sighted. The bigger question should be, I would offer, how can we partner with the Latino cohort in the US to mutually collaborate and reap the benefits of this new wave of growth in our economy in a more sustainable, longer-term way. So look for ways to serve, but also partner with a Latino cohort in the US. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Again, this is Antonio Muñiz with the new episode of LatProXperience, where we talked about entrepreneurial success through the Latino lens. If you found value in this content, make sure that you hit like, subscribe, share this content with your audience, with your network. Remember that we're on all the main podcast platforms like Spotify, YouTube, social, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And we look forward to publishing more content of high value every week. Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. is when they come out. And I hope you find great value here. And we'll see you next time.